All right, Bears fans, what is your biggest concern through 4 games on the season? Bears are 2-2, so not complete disaster, but let's be honest, it was kind of a reality check against the Giants yesterday. Biggest concern so far, if you think it's the quarterback, Justin Fields, type 1. If you think it's Luke Getsy, the offensive coordinator, type 2. If you think it's Matt Eberflus and kind of his conservative nature, type 3. If you think it's the offensive line and the wide receivers, aka the players around Justin Fields, type 4. If you think it's something else, maybe you think it's the front 7, maybe you think it's Allen Williams, who knows, comment that below. But I want to know from Bears fans right now, what do you guys think is the biggest concern through 4 games? Chicago Bears Now is presented by True Classic Tees. And guys, fall is here, and you want to be feeling comfortable when you're out at the bar with your friends or when you're playing golf on the course. So go to True Classic. They got very comfortable t-shirts for males of all sizes. They also have a polo series that I'm a big fan of, rocking one today. TrueClassicTees.com/chat. That's going to get you 25% off at checkout. All right, Bears Overreaction Monday hitting you here after a 20-12 loss to the Giants yesterday. Disappointing performance in my opinion. I think a game where you kind of have to step back and say, okay, yes, the Bears had started 2-1. Yes, they've been competing hard, and I still think that's the case, but this was kind of one of those games where like, okay, yeah, this team isn't ready to go win 12 games or something like that. Not that we were ever saying that, but you lose to the Giants pretty comfortably. Yeah, the thought process moving forward might change a bit for this season. So let's get to some overreactions here. Do the Bears have the worst supporting cast in the NFL when it comes to around Justin Fields? I think it's four smoking Jays. I think they do. And look, I'll be the first to admit that coming into this season that I thought they should have added another receiver. That's number one. I wasn't crazy high on the offensive line, but I thought it'd be decent. And honestly, it had been through the first 3 games. But in this game especially, the Bears played really poorly around Fields. I underestimated just how bad this receiving core was going to be. Now, there's been times where guys have gotten open, Fields hasn't seen it, including in this game. But there's also plays like Dante Pettis on the left sideline. Fields throws a great ball to him in a slightly contested play, and he just drops it. That's kind of when you hear, people coming into the season like, yeah, they don't have guys who can make plays for him. That was a good example of that. You got to make that play. Now, the offensive line I want to talk about for a little bit because Cody Whitehair left with an injury. We still don't know exactly what's going on there. We'll see what his status is for now. This is what it looks like. This is how the game ended. And I thought this was the worst game by the offensive line so far. To be frank and to be honest and to be defendant of the pieces around Fields, I think through 3 weeks, the offensive line held its own, especially in run blocking. Really good in run blocking situations. Pass blocking's probably been a tick below average, maybe average at times. But yesterday, run blocking fell off a bit. Dexter Lawrence dominated, and the pass blocking was an even bigger problem than it had been up to this point. And my God, look at Sam Mustipher. I had to triple check this. So if you look at that fourth line there, this is his PFF stats. That fourth line, that little red dot kind of in the middle of the screen on the bottom, that's his pass blocking grade against the Giants. 1.5. I triple checked. 1.5 pass blocking grade for Sam Mustipher. How is this possible? How can you have a 1.5? They give you 10 for showing up. You start at 10. I'm just making that up, but that's what it feels like. I'm very familiar with their grading system. I've never seen that. Like an awful performance is like a 25, a 30, a 1.5 in pass blocking yesterday. That is an absolute embarrassment for Sam Mustipher, who I've given some credit to because he's been forced into action. He's played at least somewhat admirably at times, but he's just not it, man. He is not a starting center in this league. And now with Whitehair out, Patrick at left guard probably, he may have to keep playing center. Not good. That was an absolute joke of a performance by Mustipher yesterday. You look at the receivers as well as we continue to talk about the supporting cast. Velus Jones Jr. makes his debut, 0 snaps on offense, which I'm not super surprised. He's practiced once in full since the season started, so I'm not surprised that we only saw him on special teams. But come on, let's give him some snaps moving forward. I mean, Pringle's on IR, N'Keal Harry's on IR. He's eligible to come back, but no major update. Ryan Poles said on radio before the game that he's progressing, but it doesn't sound like he's going to play this week. Need to watch the tape still, and I will, just like I did last week. Didn't see a ton of open receivers. We all talk. Everybody was DMing me about the Mooney play where he slips open as Fields kind of steps him up into the pocket and ends up scrambling for a first down. And, yeah, that's an area where you'd like to see him recognize that before he crosses the line of scrimmage and flip it over the top. That would have been a touchdown. But in just normal drop-back situations, there weren't a ton of open receivers from what I could tell. Again, I'm going to watch the tape, but I don't know, man. It just it's not good around him right now. We're going to talk about Fields specifically because he has a lot of blame in this as well when it comes to the offensive struggles. But I thought yesterday the O-line played their worst game of the year, and Fields still did not get as much help around him. And obviously the Bears didn't run the football as well as the Giants forced the Bears to win with the passing game, and they were unable to do so consistently enough. How about this? Do you want another Justin Fields film study this week? Another video on Justin Fields' film study. Type Y for yes, type in for no. Let me know down in the comments because I did one last week and I had fun doing it. I got a lot of positive feedback. It didn't draw crazy views from the audience, but if you guys like it and want me to do it more, please let me know. Type Y for yes, type in for no. I'm going to be watching the All-22 moving forward anyway because obviously we got to figure out if Fields is going to be the guy or not, so I want to see what the tape tells me. But if you guys want more film study, let me know, and we'll probably do another one later this week. All right, Overreaction Monday continuing here. Eberflus and Getsy, too conservative. Yeah, man, especially in this game, but it's a trend, especially with Flus. And, look, I get it. You have a young, inexperienced team. You're trying to eke out wins. So they're fighting a tough balance of trying to stay in games while also trying to figure out if this quarterback is the guy or not. Here's what I don't like, though. Matt Eberflus kicked the field goal on 4th and 2 from inside the 5-yard line after Luke Getsy runs a shotgun handoff to Khalil Herbert on 3rd and 3, gets a yard. As soon as he ran that play, I was like, oh, this is a play called to go for it on 4th down. Nope, we're going to kick a 20-yard field goal. I didn't like that. Then to punt it on 4th and 2 at the 45-yard line with 3 minutes left. I get it. You got the stop, and then Velas fumbles the punt. So, if he catches the punt and runs it back a little bit, who knows how it works out. But you got to go for that, man. I'm sorry. It's 2022. You're a young team. You go for it there on 4th and 2 late in the game, down 8 points. I was not a fan of that at all. Eberflus, defensive-minded guy. He's playing it a little too conservative for me right now. I'd like to see him open things up a bit. Getsy played it safe in the second half, I thought, as well. Offense was moving early. Yeah, he stalled out in the red zone a couple of times, which, by the way, I thought the red zone offensive play calling was horrible. Way too many runs. I think 19 of 20 red zone plays or something like that were runs. One pass play was the Pettis throwaway in the end zone. I don't know, man. And then in the second half, it's like after the field strip sack or when the ball slipped out, whatever you want to call it. Again, I got to watch the tape for that as well to see exactly what happened. You just kind of mail it in. You don't do it. So I don't know what happened there either. Way too conservative for my liking. True Classic Tees, today's sponsor here on Chicago Bears Now. I am a huge fan of these shirts, and hey, as fall gets here, as the weather starts to cool down a little bit, the good thing about True Classic is you can wear this with all kinds of stuff. You got a jacket, pull over the top, just rock the polo underneath. I'm a big fan of these polos. They have dry fit, also the tri-blend cotton as well, very comfortable. And the best part about True Classic is you buy in bulk, it's the best bang for your buck. This 9 polo pack, $12.99 per polo. You get 9 for a great price there. T-shirts are comfortable. They got shorts. They got pants. All kinds of stuff for males of all sizes. Take it from me, someone who's in the big and tall category. Sometimes I can't find shirts that fit me that well. True Classic has helped me out, though, and they'll help you out as well. 25% off at trueclassictees.com/chat. Get going this fall with True Classic. All right, more on the coaching with Eberflus and Getsy. Here's the bottom line, in my opinion, when it comes to this stuff. And I get it. You're 4 games in now, so I think now you can kind of look at this and be like, okay, let's kind of think about how we want to manage these games moving forward. This team is not good enough right now to be this conservative. Even if you scraped your way and snuck into the playoffs, which it's a long shot at best, you're not doing any damage. This team doesn't have enough talent to make a deep run. So you need to figure some things out. And by the way, going forward on 4th and 2, down 8 with 3 minutes left, it doesn't matter if you're rebuilding or not. That should be an automatic go for it. I thought that was a mistake in philosophy regardless of what your team's status is as a football team. You go for that. 4th and 2, you run a shotgun run inside the 5, get a yard, and it's 4th and 2, and you kick a 20-yard field goal. I don't agree with it, regardless of if you're rebuilding or not. Those are opportunities to see how your quarterback can handle those situations, and I just think it's the right move anyway. I was not a fan of those. Getsy's got to be more aggressive in certain situations. Flus has to be more aggressive. I don't want to say they're coaching scared, but they're coaching a little soft. I will say that. I don't want to throw the word coward out there, but that 4th and 2 punt late in the game, that pissed me off. I was not a fan of that. And now, you go to Minnesota next week, you can't coach like that. Minnesota on the road, this is not the Giants. This is a much better team. You're going to have to play aggressive if you want to try to win, which Eberflus says is the most important thing. Punting down 8 with 3 minutes left on 4th and 2, to me, that's not trying to win. That's trying to, stick in it and hope you get another chance. How about you take the chance right there and see if you can make something happen? Commanders at Patriots, at Cowboys, Dolphins at home. Some manageable games there. Commanders at home, we'll see how the Patriots game goes. But games aren't getting easier. I mean, the Texans game, that's in the books. Giants game, that's in the books. You're going to have harder games than that. You got to be more aggressive. You got to open it up a little bit with the play calling. Getsy, Flus, 4th and short, midfield. Let's go, man. You got to go for it. I'm not a fan of that whatsoever. Now, do you trust Luke Getsy? We'll focus on Getsy here with this question. Type T for trust, type D for don't. I want to give it more time, but this is – I don't like what I saw yesterday. Let me know. T for trust, D for don't. All right, is Justin Fields getting frustrated? It's a four-smoking J type of day. Bear down. I think it's pretty clear he's getting frustrated, both on the field, in the press conferences. This was a sequence that I think he probably would like to have back. Reporter Jason Leisure asked him, why isn't the passing game working? Fields, who says the passing game isn't working? Jason Leisure. The stats. Fields, the stats don't matter. Let me try to be fair. Numbers are not everything, especially where this team is at. I think the process and improving and taking steps, I think those things are more important than the literal raw stats. But when the numbers are this, the numbers do kind of tell the story, right? Completion percentage, 32nd in the NFL. Passing yards, 32nd in the NFL. Passing touchdowns, tied for 29th. QBR, 31st. Only Baker Mayfield's been worse. I mean, it's not good. I will say this. I thought Fields played better, and maybe that's what he says when he, maybe when he got that question, he's thinking, oh, well, I thought the passing game was better today. And he's right, it was. You hit a deep ball to Darnell Mooney, a couple other strong throws as well, but 174 passing yards, yeah, it's an improvement. It's not good enough, though. 50% completion, not close to good enough. This passing game isn't working, not nearly consistently enough. Now, this gives me some encouragement here. Lauren Cox tweeted this out, said that Fields was under pressure 51.4% of his dropbacks against the Giants. On plays where he was kept clean, he went 10 of 14, 168 yards with a PFF grade of 90.3, which is an excellent grade. Now, again, PFF, somewhat subjective with their grading, but I think when this was growth because earlier in the season at times when he's been given time, he still hasn't pulled the trigger. I thought he was more willing to pull the trigger. A couple plays he could have thrown it. We talked about the Mooney one earlier, but I think there was some growth. So this is encouraging, but he's got a long way to go still. 174 yards, again, it's not all about raw numbers. I get that. But we need to get to a point where 175 yards is a bad game. Not a good game for him. Yesterday, based on how the season has gone, it was a good game for him. But for NFL quarterback standards, it was not a good game. So hopefully it's a step in the right direction, but I didn't like that sequence from Fields. Clearly, he takes losing hard, which I love. I love when you hate losing more than you love winning. That's a good thing. That means you want to win more than anything. You hate losing, and clearly Fields does because he says stuff like stats don't matter if he wins. And hey, I love that mindset. Just go win the game. Throw him for 500 yards and 6 touchdowns. If you lose, doesn't matter. You would rather win ugly, but losing ugly is bad too. There's nothing worse than losing ugly. If you lose pretty or if you win ugly, that's better than losing ugly. That's all I'm going to say. So we're a month into this thing this year. What do you guys think? Will Justin Fields work out in Chicago? Type W for he will work. Type D for don't think so. I still think it's way too early to make a determination either way, especially when he played at least mildly better yesterday. But I'll say this. Coming into this season, I was very confident that he will work out, and I still have confidence in that. but the confidence has dipped. I'd be lying if I'm sitting here saying, oh, yeah, there's no doubt in my mind he's going to work out. Doubts are creeping in, and I think that's fair based on what we've seen so far this year. All right, hit that subscribe button here on Chicago Bears Now. I'm still confident in Fields. We just need to see more. 2-2, we're on to Minnesota. Let's see how the coaching staff adjusts this week. They took way too long to adjust to the Daniel Jones bootlegs. That's gotta get cleaned up, but hopefully it does. We'll be live tomorrow, 4 o'clock Eastern, 3 Central Time, youtube.com/Bears Now. We should have a Cody Whitehair update before then. If there's something notable, we might have another video today, so stay tuned for that. And we'll see you soon here on the channel.